Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile. This is the iFi Audio Pro iCan Signature, and these are my Honest Audiophile impressions. I want to thank iFi Audio for providing the Pro iCan Signature for review. Do greatly appreciate it. iFi Audio, you rock. Okay, so the Pro iCan Signature. This will set you back roughly $2,250 from your bank account. It is the upgraded version of the original Pro iCan that I reviewed quite a while ago back on the channel. Check out the link down below. There'll be a link for that review. Now, the Pro iCan Signature, it comes in a rather large box. And it's huge, and we're not going to open it and show you all the stuff that's inside it, but we will show you a few things that it includes. The first thing that it includes is a little remote control, and the remote control is actually kind of unique because it controls both the Pro iCan Signature and the Pro iDSD Signature. So up top, you just get volume control for the iCan Signature. Very nice built, nice and lightweight. I like the look of it with it being black. And then also on top of that, you get a iPower Elite power supply. And so iFi Audio has put a lot of thought and technology into their iPower Elite power supplies, and it is supposed to make everything a lot quieter and smoother running. I'll put a link down below so that you can get more information regarding that technology. I did not have an alternate power supply to be able to test and see if I heard differences. So the Pro iCan Signature, this looks very similar to it. The original has all the same venting and looks pretty much the same from what I recall. From the front side, the only differences are the little gold accents that you have around the rings and right here. So on the front side of it, on the far side, you have your power button, and then you have your input selector, and I believe that is X bass. And X bass is broken down by different frequencies. So you have off 10 Hertz, 20 Hertz, and 40 Hertz. And then down below that is a switch for turning on the tubes. So solid state tube or tube plus. And then you have your 3.5 output, and that includes IE match. And then you have your 3-pin balanced outputs, your 4-pin XLR. Also, you can use the 3 pins for your 1/4 inch 6.35 millimeter outputs for headphones. And then you have 4.4 balance down here. You have your selector for gain switch. And then you have your X space, and your X space also is set up for off or 30 plus or 60 30 plus or 90/60 plus. And then the gain switches are 0, 9 dB, and 18 dB. On the back side, you have XLR in, RCA in. You have 3 inputs of RCA unbalanced and 1 of XLR. And then you have XLR output and RCA output. And then you have a couple of different DC loops and also your regular power supply input. This is for the ESL if you have the iFi stack. And then that one is your standard DC loop. So overall, it's a very well built and inclusive amplifier. One little complaint that I do have is the switches for the tubes and for the gains are a little bit close to everything else and kind of hard to press and they're a little bit small. So if you have larger fingers or you have other gear plugged in, especially 3.5 or 4.4, it'll make it a little bit tough to finger it and move it around. Some of the power capabilities of the iFi Audio Pro iCan. Now this thing has a lot, and I mean a lot of power. On single-ended, it's 4,800 milliwatts at 16 ohms. At 16 ohms balanced, it's 14,000 milliwatts. So it has a ton of power if you max it out. And it also has a rather jaw-dropping frequency response as well. 0.5 hertz to 500 kilohertz. Pretty sure the human ear can only hear 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz at most, so this will have you covered. Anyways, as I mentioned, the gains are 0 dB, 9 dB, and 18 dB. I never used the highest gain setting for the Pro iCan signature. I tested the Pro iCan signature with every single piece of gear that is headphone or IEM related in this office. And that included anything from the easiest to drive of IEMs to the hardest to drive IEMs and easiest to drive headphones to hardest to drive headphones. Anything from a Rode NTH 100, Hifi Min Ananda, Hifi Min Aria Stealth, the Dan Clark, Mr. Speaker's Ether C's, Aueze LCD 2C, the Audio Technica R70X, the Fostex Vibrolabs T50RP Curly Maple, and all the Sennheisers 600s, the 660s, 800 or 8XX, excuse me, and many other headphones, along with the Aueze LCD 5 and the Rawson Red Zero and the Barodynamic DT880 600 ohm. No problems whatsoever driving those headphones, and as I said, any IEM. Nice thing with IEMs is with the IE match being built into the single-ended output, you didn't end up with any issues whatsoever with hissing at all. The IE match controlled all that and took care of it all. Let's plug this in so you can see what it looks like. Hitting the power switch, you're going to see a little light, and it's going to do a couple clicks, and you're good to go. When you hit the tube button, it's going to start glowing orange. And the light on the front will start flashing. It'll take a little bit for it to kind of cycle through. And I think it's about 30 seconds to 45 seconds, somewhere in that range. And then after it cycles through, the LED will change and stop blinking, and you're good to go. Going to the next one, you'll go through the same cycle again. And then once it's ready, it'll go solid. If you're already on tube and you go to tube plus, the cycle doesn't take quite as long. Very simple and easy. I love the glowing that you get. And if you dim the lights down, that glow becomes even more cool to look at. So overall, iFi did a good job of building the Pro iCan signature and just making it very user-friendly and also very gear friendly. It's easy to drive anything. You have no problems whatsoever, no matter what the gear that you're using. Before we get into the sonics of the Pro iCan signature, I do want to thank my supporters through YouTube memberships and Patreon. Thank you very much for all that you provide to the channel. I know that these times in the world are a struggle on a daily basis financially. So thank you very much for making a small sacrifice out of your personal funds to help a channel like the Honest Audiophile to be able to put out product reviews and topical videos. So thank you very much for all that you provide to the channel. It's much appreciated. If it wasn't for your small sacrifices and donations, this channel would struggle to bring in gear to review and use to compare and for coffee to drink on cold days like today. So thank you very much. If you're interested in becoming a supporter of the Honest Audiophile, please check out the links below for Patreon and YouTube memberships. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to the video and to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. All right, so the iFi Audio Pro iCan signature. How does it sound? Now, the Pro iCan signature, this has a very clean and a very refined type of sound is how I would describe it. Clean and refined. But it does have a little bit of that analog warmth to go along with it. So if you're looking for a pure analytical, clean, crisp type of sound, the Pro iCan signature may not be for you. But if you're looking for one that has a very natural warmth and a lusher type of sound signature, then the Pro iCan signature may be what you're looking for. The bass of the Pro iCan signature is just phenomenal. It has a power to it, a girth to it, an authority to it, and a light warmth to it that's uber detailed and very good resolving. But at the same time, the warmth does not make it too thick and too bloated and too boomy. It stays very well controlled. And with the X bass feature on it, you can hone it in. So if your headphones or your speakers or whatever you're using the Pro iCan signature with, if they struggle in a certain hertz, you can kind of find it and tweak it with that X bass and bring it in a little bit. Or if you just want to add it in a little bit here or there. Do be careful with it though. At volumes and stuff like that, depending on your headphone, you can do damage, as it is a very potent X bass. And when you do turn it on and activate it, you can feel it, and it really adds, and it does its job very well. But overall, I find that the bass of the iCan signature is very well done, and I rarely ever used the X bass. I used it just to have a little bit of fun, but the majority of the time, I never use the X bass. Mids. The mids of the Pro iCan signature are very lush. They have a nice warmness to them, and they have a nice focus about the vocalist and about the instruments within that area. They do a very good job of presenting in a very natural, accurate, and true way. And it's a very engaging and immersive mid. I find that they have a very much of naturalism in it, and it's like you have your own little personal concert. Everything's just kind of going around with you, and you're just like sitting there enjoying the show in your own little world. And then the treble. The treble is very well extended, and it has a very good presence to it. It has nice sparkle and energy, and again, the details and the resolving abilities of it are very good. And I find that it does it in a way that is very clean and clear, but yet also it is slightly softened, and it has just this little bit of roundedness to it, so that it's not fatiguing and it's not an aggressive sound. It will give you all of the edges and all of the information that comes about in treble, but it does it in a soft, approachable way instead of being, here you are, in a more analytical way. So if you're looking for an approach that is a smoother and more engaging, more ear-friendly, the Pro iCan signature will give that to you, especially in the uppers. But yet you still get the energy, you still get the sparkle, you still get the crispness, but it's presented in that more ear-friendly approach. Soundstage. Now, Soundstage is spectacular on the iFi Audio Pro iCan signature. I really enjoy the Soundstage. It's a very immersive and very engaging, very, very well done imaging. Everything kind of moves around the stage. It's pinpoint accurate and has extremely good depth and layering. Everything plays as it should, and there's no jumbled together mashing of sounds. Everything just meshes and plays together. If it's supposed to be wide, it's wide. If it's supposed to be narrow, it's more narrow. And everything is where it should be. Adding in X space, you can change things up a little bit. X space will either enhance a soundstage or it'll add a little bit of depth. And I liked it, but I never really felt like I needed it. It again, just like the X bass, is more of just a little fun effect that you can add in and play around with some of the crossovers and some of the imaging capabilities and the width and the depth of the stage. But again, I didn't use it very much whatsoever. So I find that the Pro iCan signature is a very nice amplifier that I truly enjoy, and I like it a whole lot and I love it a lot, and it complements my other amplifier, which is the HeadAmp GS-X Mini. Now I find that the Pro iCan has a whole lot more power than my HeadAmp GS-X Mini. Not that my GS-X Mini can't power all the headphones that I own, but with the Pro iCan signature, I have no doubt whatsoever about anything that would ever come into the channel. The differences between the two, though, or the HeadAmp GS-X Mini leans more towards the natural analytical side of things. And so it's not quite as soft and approachable as the Pro iCan signature is. The Pro iCan signature has a more lush, a bigger body, and a more immersive type of naturalism, but you miss out a little bit on the airiness, and you miss out on those extra crisp, sharp edges that you get with the GS-X Mini. And to me, the GS-X Mini does a little bit better job of sounding more accurate in presentation, being more open, and having a little bit more of that sparkle and energy, and being a little bit more aggressive and crisp at times when called upon in mixes. Whereas the Pro iCan signature kind of softens that and makes it a little bit more friendly to the ear. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next video, somewhere on the screen, subscription links, notification bells. If you haven't already, please check those off. Don't forget to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to the video if you haven't already. And also, check out the links down below. There's all kinds of information down there regarding how you can contact channel, follow channel, support the channel, gear recommendations, tier list of gear, music recommendations, and all kinds of other things are down below. So check out those links. Also, there'll be information on how you can get more information that was not covered about the iCan Pro signature from iFi down below. So check out that link, and then also where you can purchase the Pro iCan signature if you're interested. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to enjoy the music, and that honesty is the best policy.